Morning, y'all. We're back. Another day. I think. Oh my god. I feel like it's already like it's haven't been like a week yet. It's only oh my god. It's only been. I think. Has it already been 1 week? I don't think so. Let me check my calendar. Okay, yeah, it hasn't even been 1 week yet, and I already feel like I'm taking on too much. Cause every single fucking day is just IELTS, 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 IELTS. And I'm very fucking exhausted from doing this shit all the goddamn time. But, it is what it is. We have to, we got works to do. We gotta do them. Okay, give me a second. Let me get my, stuff. Oh, I haven't eaten anything yet, but you know, every single time I burp is a natural thing. All right, got my papers. We're gonna do another listening task because I haven't finished my listening task from yesterday, so we're gonna do that. Again, there's not gonna be anything on screen, so you guys just have to bear with it, okay? Let me see. What? Okay, give me a second. Let me open my audio. Okay, I have it now. So, oh. What? Where's my pencil? Oh my god. Something is wrong with my pencil. Uh-oh. Bruh. Oh. Something is most definitely wrong with my pencil. Great. Oh, there we go. I'm using a mechanic pencil, so I need to recharge my what is this called? Pencil still? Like my pencil thingy. The long thingy. What is this called? Yeah, I need to recharge my lead. Alright. I'm gonna start the video, so I'm just gonna stay silent and I'm just gonna do my work. Oh god, my brain is still not fresh enough to do this, but you know, it is what it is.
Part 3. You will hear two urban planning students discussing bike-sharing schemes in different cities. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Now that we've done all the research into bike-sharing schemes in cities around the world, we need to think about how we're going to organise our report.
Right. I think we should start by talking about the benefits. I mean, it's great that so many cities have introduced these schemes where anyone can pick up a bike from dozens of different locations and hire it for a few hours. It makes riding a bike very convenient for people.
Yes, but the costs can add up, and that puts people on low incomes off in some places.
I suppose so. But if it means more people in general are cycling rather than driving, then because they're increasing the amount of physical activity they do, it's good for their health.
OK, but isn't that of less importance? I mean, doesn't the impact of reduced emissions on air pollution have a more significant effect on people's health?
Certainly in some cities, bike sharing has made a big contribution to that, and also helped to cut the number of cars on the road significantly.
Which is the main point.
Exactly. But I'd say it's had less of an impact on noise pollution because there are still loads of buses and lorries around.
Right.
Shall we quickly discuss the recommendations we're going to make?
In order to ensure bike-sharing schemes are successful?
Yes.
OK. Well, while I think it's nice to have really state-of-the-art bikes with things like GPS, I wouldn't say they're absolutely necessary.
But some technical things are really important, like a fully functional app, so people can make payments and book bikes easily. Places which haven't invested in that have really struggled.
Good point. Some people say there shouldn't be competing companies offering separate bike-sharing schemes, but in some really big cities, competition's beneficial. And anyway, one company might not be able to manage the whole thing.
Right. Deciding how much to invest is a big question. Cities which have opened loads of new bike lanes at the same time as introducing bike-sharing schemes have generally been more successful. But there are examples of successful schemes where this hasn't happened. What does matter, though, is having a big publicity campaign.
Definitely. If people don't know how to use the scheme, or don't understand its benefits, they won't use it. People need a lot of persuasion to stop using their cars.
Okay,
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30.
Okay, this one's gonna be a
Now
hard
listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Shall we look at some examples now and say what we think is good or bad about them?
I suppose we should start with Amsterdam, as this was one of the first cities to have a bike-sharing scheme.
Yes, there was already a strong culture of cycling here. In a way, it's strange that there was such a demand for bike sharing, because you'd have thought most people would have used their own bikes.
And yet it's one of the best used schemes. Dublin's an interesting example of a success story.
It must be because the public transport system's quite limited.
Not really. There's no underground, but there are trams and a good bus network. I'd say price has a lot to do with it. It's one of the cheapest schemes in Europe to join.
But the buses are really slow. Anyway, the weather certainly can't be a factor.
No, definitely not. The London scheme's been quite successful.
Yes, it's been a really good thing for the city. The bikes are popular and the whole system is well maintained, but it isn't expanding quickly enough.
Basically, not enough's been spent on increasing the number of cycle lanes. Hopefully that'll change.
Yes. Now, what about outside Europe?
Well, bike-sharing schemes have taken off in places like Buenos Aires.
They built a huge network of cycle lanes to support the introduction of the scheme there, didn't they? It attracted huge numbers of cyclists where previously there were hardly any.
An example of good planning.
Absolutely. New York is a good example of how not to introduce a scheme. When they launched it, it was more than 10 times the price of most other schemes.
More than it costs to take a taxi. Crazy. I think the organisers lacked vision and ambition there.
I think so too. Sydney would be a good example to use. I would have expected it to have grown pretty quickly here.
Yes. I can't quite work out why it hasn't been an instant success like some of the others. It's a shame, really.
I know. OK, so now we've thought about all the...
That is the end of part 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 3.
Holy shit. Okay, that one's a little bit confusing. I need to, like... Okay, first of all, let's go back to... Channel 1 and Channel 2.
Dozens of different locations.
We've done all the...
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Now that we've done all the research into bike-sharing schemes in cities around the world, we need to think about how we're going to organise our report.
Right. I think we should start by talking about the benefits. I mean, it's great that so many cities have introduced these schemes where anyone can pick up a bike from dozens of different locations and hire it for a few hours. It makes riding a bike very convenient for people.
Yes, but the costs can add up, and that puts people on low incomes off in some places.
Okay, so one of the options is making cycling affordable. The girl, she says... I think she said something about... I think she said, like, along the lines of... It's convenient. But one of the options is making cycling affordable, and convenient and affordable are not the same thing. And the guy was like, oh, it costs too much. So definitely not that option.
Places?
I suppose so. But if it means more people in general are cycling rather than driving, then because they're increasing the amount of physical activity they do, it's good for their health.
Okay, but isn't that of less importance? I mean...
Okay. So another option from this part is encouraging health and fitness. She was talking about it, and then the guy was like, it was less important. So it's not about health or fitness. So yeah, that option is off the table.
I mean, doesn't the impact of reduced emissions on air pollution have a more significant effect on people's health?
Certainly in some cities, bike
Okay, wait.
sharing has made a big contribution to that, and also helped to cut the number of cars on the road significantly.
Which is...
Okay. So they were were they talking about air?
have a more significant effect on people's health.
Certainly in some cities.
Emissions on air pollution.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he was talking about health. Alright, so I'm correct. Good. Because I'm having a headache. Because earlier I couldn't figure out if he was saying air or noise. Now I know that he's saying air. Alright.
But the buses are really slow.
Oh, give me a second. Someone is downstairs, so I need to check who it is. Okay, yeah, people are now in my house and I'm going to mute my mic, but I'm just going to continue doing my work as usual.
Anyway, the weather certainly can't be a factor.
No, definitely not.
Shall we look at some examples now and say what we think is good or bad about them?
I suppose we should start with Amsterdam, as this was one of the first cities to have a bike-sharing scheme.
Yes, there was already a strong culture of cycling here. In a way, it's strange that there was such a demand for bike sharing, because you'd have thought most people would have used their own bikes.
And yet it's one of the best used schemes. Dublin's an interesting example of a success story.
It must be because the public transport system's quite limited.
Not really. There's no underground, but there are trams and a good bus network. I'd say price has a lot to do with it. It's one of the cheapest schemes in Europe to join.
But the buses are really slow. Anyway, the weather certainly can't be a factor.
No, definitely not. The London scheme's been quite successful.
Yes, it's been a really good thing for the city. The bikes are popular and the whole system is well maintained, but it isn't expanding quickly enough.
Basically, not enough's been spent on increasing the number of cycle lanes. Hopefully that'll change.
Yes. Now, what about outside Europe?
Well, bike-sharing schemes have taken off in places like Buenos Aires.
They built a huge network of cycle lanes to support the introduction of the scheme there, didn't they?
Alright, I am back. And I have a lollipop. Mmm, sweet. Strawberry. It's kind of hard for me to do my work. Mm. It's kind of hard for me to do my work with my mic in front of me because my mic is basically a headset, and I have like tissue paper wrapped around my mic, so like to prevent uh, fan noises, or to like prevent any kind of like background noises. And my headset is pretty big. I mean, duh, it's a headset. Like, if you have a headset, you should know how big it is. My headset is like in the middle of my table, and it's in between my keyboard. So it's actually really hard for me to type anything, because if I want to type, I can only use my left hand to type what I want, and my right hand is completely blocked. Because again, headset in a way can't really put my hand down and type. Oh yeah, it's really hard for me to type with my headphones in a way. So I might, honestly, I might mute for the rest of the recording, because I don't feel like talking. Actually, I want to explain stuff, because I like explaining stuff, and it helps me review like the studies, review my lessons. So it's a good way for me to like memorize all of the things that I wrote down. Oh, um, mm, tasty. Anyway, this word pivotal. For the longest time, I've never known that the word pivotal means importance. So I want to put this word here because it could be very helpful. Like if you're writing an essay and you want to say like let me see, you want to say, oh, I can't think of one right now. Oh, restaurant. Restaurant? Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Restaurant popularity. Um, it is a bit of if you want to say res- restaurant popularity is important to maintain a successful business. There we go. Sure, why not? Yeah, if we want to say like restaurant popularity is an important aspect for um, a successful business, instead of saying the word important, you can use the word pivotal, which again I had no idea that it also means important, because for longest time I only understood the word pivotal as like a turning point, like a turning moment, like it's a pivotal, it's a pivotal moment for Sam Porter Bridges. I'm trying to think of an example, but it's so hard to think of an example with words that I barely use. Sam Porter Bridges is pivotal for for to keep the transportation industry alive. Yep. Yeah. That's a great example. Actually, you know what? I'm going to write that down because that's a genius example. Sand portal bridges is a pivotal aspect to ensure the survival of transportation. Mm, mm, apocalyptic. Is this word not correct? Apocalyptic? I need to search it. Apocalyptic. Okay, apocalyptic. Mm. 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 Oh, that's so sweet. Okay. Um. Wait, what have I been showing this whole time on my screen? Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. All right. Um. Sand portal bridges is a pivotal aspect. Hmm. Sand portal bridges is pivotal to the survival of transportation in a post-apocalyptic world. So basically, what this sentence is saying is that sand portal bridges is pivotal for pivotal 4 or pivotal 2? I think it's 4. Pivotal 4. Yeah. Sand portal bridges is pivotal for the survival of transportation in a post-apocalyptic world. It's basically the turning point to survive in a world where everything is fucked. So yeah, that's pretty much my understanding of the word pivotal. Okay, so I need an academic example. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. This is a stupid sentence. like this sentence undermines the fact that like elections are not like an important event, because this implies that even if you elect somebody, even if you even if you elect an or a regulatory body, ha, genius me. Like if this comment, like this sentence, is kind of contradicting because okay, an election can be a pivotal moment in a nation's history, can be, which means that it implies that an election is basically useless most of the time, which is true, but eh, it's so obviously true that I feel like this sentence, mm, that I feel like this sentence should be leaning towards one side instead of like making fun of the actual practice that elections are mostly useless, but sometimes in very rare cases it could be a pivotal moment, a pivotal moment for the country to change like rulers and stuff. Mm. An election can be a pivotal moment in a nation's history. This makes more sense. Like this sentence is easier to understand than the other sentence because the other sentence feels like it's giving me schizophrenia. Oh my god, that was I have never said that word out loud before. I've read it in my brain, but saying it out loud is kind of hard. Schizophrenia. Good god damn. Schizophrenia. It's like that stupid word that PewDiePie can't say. What was it? Ineligible? Is that it? Ineligible? Ineligible. Yeah, I think that's the word that he can't like openly say. Okay. Mm. I'm sorry. I'm biting down the lollipop. Um. Yeah. Yeah. An election can be a pivotal moment in a nation's history when a country depends on it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm. 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 Oh yeah. Mm. Mm. Oh god! Why was the last taste so sour? Oh! It was, it was so sweet before, and then it fucking hit me in the tongue like, ha! Bam! Sourness! Your fucking face. Mm. Oh god. That destroyed my taste buds. Okay. So, pivotal? Regular. I've used the word pivotal before, now that I've remembered. I've most definitely used that word before, but it's like, again, C1 and C2 words are so niche that sometimes if you use it in public, or if you use it with use it with an intention of talking to people, that is not normal. Like, most people don't want to talk about complicated stuff like regulatory body, or words like ubiquitous, exacerbate, ameliorate. Like, I've heard of people say this word before, myriad, which is fair, is a very common word, and it's easy to understand, but like, you know, most people don't talk like this. Pivotal moments. No, most people don't fucking talk like this. Which is why it's pissed me off that IELTs has to, like, monitor, or have to, like, um, have to see how you use these words. Like, they would examine you. This is a better. There's a better way to say it, but they examine you by, like, testing how well you can use English, or how high is your mastery. Do you measure mastery in heights? Like, as in, like, levels, high level, low level, like high mastery, low mastery? I don't know. Anyway, I also wanted to, like, do I want to try and write out some synonymous words for each of the words that I wrote down in this file. Like, for example, the myriad, I want to write down synonymous, like the synonyms of myriad means that a lot. Although there's already, like, here, but this is only just the meaning of the word. Like, I want to find a bunch of synonyms to match each of the word here, like ameliorate. I think ameliorate and exacerbate is gonna be the hardest words to match, because I don't believe that there's a word that also means make a bad situation better. Yeah. Or make a bad situation worse. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, but this is, yeah. This is a decent example. Oof. Facilitate. Oh yeah, I also use example of the word regulatory body. Because from my understanding, regulatory body but literally means like people with laws, people with powers, like high standing folks. Yeah, someone in high position or people with governmental. This should be the word governmental. Governmental? People with governmental powers. Nah, government powers. People with government powers that monitors industry. Okay, this last part I added based on the like dictionary meanings of the word. But it does make sense though. I just understood this as like someone with high power. That's yeah, that's the easiest way for me to understand it. And I gave like examples for like gaming, like if you haven't heard of the stop killing game, I'm pretty sure you must have seen this phrase before, like stop killing games, because like gaming developers or gaming companies, they will literally shut down games just because oh the game is way too old now, no one wants to support it anymore, and maybe the government don't want the game to be distributed for people even though people spend money on it. And stop killing game, the like the the movements of stop killing game is basically to prevent practices or actions like that happens. Because imagine you're playing Warframe and then you spend your money to buy skins, and then suddenly the game just like, oh haha, we're gonna shut down the game now and you will never see the game ever again. You literally lost all that money and you literally do not own any of those skins. Like, let's why? Why? You take my money and then you take my game. Why? Like, I use those hard-earned monies just to buy the stuff that you offer, and then you have the fucking gall to take it away? Like, that's so dumb. Yeah. It's really fortunate that Stop Killing Games actually succeed, because I've watched the whole, what is it called? I don't think it's called interview, but I watched the whole like presentation from the Stop Killing Games team, and a lot of the people who are in the team makes really good points. Like, I think one of the guy said something about if you're buying an electric car and if a company takes away your electric gadgets, then the car wouldn't function anymore. Then it's basically the same as shutting down a game when you spend all your money and your time in it. So yeah, that's one of the most clear, most transparent points that I've ever heard that makes so much sense. So yeah, stop killing games. Good. Stop playing game. Good. I want my game to be mine. Yeah, it's kind of stupid. Like, what the fuck? People pay for their product, and then the company is like, oh nope, this is mine now. Oh, and you never get it anymore. Oh, haha. Dumbest fucking greedy ass bastard companies. Like, I work in a company before, so I legitimately understood how everything works. Like, the boss, the CEO, or anyone in high position, they would literally use your youth. Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, it's crazy, right? They literally use your youth just to do some legwork. And it's not even a good kind of legwork. It's like they're literally using you. They're literally taking advantage of you. Anyway, So yeah, this is my example of the word regulatory body. And for business, this is just a generic sentence, but it's better than nothing. The financial industry is being supervised by a powerful regulatory body. There's also another synonymous word for regulatory body. This is why I want to write synonymous words. Like, a lot of synonyms could be very helpful when it comes to academic exams, because sometimes if you're being repetitive, you're using the same word over and over again, it like the examiner will question your credibility and if you really do understand what you're trying to say. So yeah, it's good to know that a lot of words means one thing. Basically, that's like one of the most helpful thing that you can do in any academic exams. Like, not just in English exams, but in many other exams. Like, I'm friends with the valedictorian. I'm friends with a guy that is top 1 in my class. There we go. Valedictorian or something. Valedictorian? Okay, I need to find a word. Valedictorian. Okay, I didn't know there was a dick in there. Valedictorian, yeah. I'm actually friends with the valedictorian of my faculty, of my major. So, yeah. We're good friends. He's the gay friend I often talk about in my videos. He's pretty cool. He's a lot older than me, because he decided to come back here to get the diploma, so he could use that diploma to like do other stuff. He was originally a chef, and then I think one of the reasons he came back to get the diploma is to like become or to work in a higher chef position. I don't really understand how that works. I'm sure that if you cook good, you cook well, then maybe you could be in, like, you could be the head chef or something. I don't know. I don't really understand how, like, the hierarchy of restaurant works. Like, you have head chef, you have sous chef. Is that how you say it? Chef. I've seen that word my entire life. I've heard Gordon Ramsay scream at people using that word my entire life, and I have never said it once. That's literally one of my first times. One of the few times that I openly said sous chef. It's actually really hard to say. Damn. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I need to go here. Pivotal. I need an academic meaning for pivotal. Which means important in a sense of importance, in a sense of centrality, and centrality. How do you say this? Centrality.
Centrality.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I have perfect 2020 enunciation. That's one of my like advantages. Because living here in Southeast Asia, where no one can pronounce any fucking word, is really difficult. Like, it's so hard to form a skill around people who don't have the skill that you want. Cause like when you're surrounded by an environment that doesn't suit your taste, you eventually have to find your way to work it out. Find your own way to, like, for example, find your own way to improve upon yourself. Like for me, because English has always been my first language, it's kind of difficult to really improve upon it if I'm surrounded by people who, like, 99% of the people don't fucking speak English here. Like I've grown up here my whole life, and I don't think I can give an instance where people would speak English to me. Like, it's very rare. Like, it's so rare. Like, no one in middle school or high school ever spoken English to me. Until I got to university, where the people actually started speaking English, which made me feel so at home. Makes me feel like it made me feel like I belong here. But at the same time, they like half of their half of their conversation is in English. Again, it's still very difficult to find anyone who speaks full English. Like, I'm very glad that I have a friend in university who's American. He's an exchange student. He's American, but he wants to live here because it's cheaper here. That's literally his reason for living here. It's cheaper, and no one bothers you here. So yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty grateful that I have, like, friends that actually speak English that and doesn't just fucking give up midway and then started speaking their own native language. Like, that is not cool, man. Like, I've grown up, and then I think the worst part about growing up having English as your first language in a third world country is the fact that people would often judge, like, oh, why do you, like, sound so weird, or why do you say sentences that sound so weird? Because again, my native language is English, and the language here is not English. So when I started speaking the language here, people judge me and says that, oh, you have a weird way of saying stuff. Like, it doesn't sound like someone who lives here would say. Well, obviously, because the language here is not my native language. Anyway, sorry for the rant. But yeah, it's really difficult for me to find people who actually understand and comprehend a deep level of English communication. Like, it's so hard for me to find anyone who fucking speak English at all. So yeah, again, I'm very grateful that I have friends who actually speak English to me, that knows that English is my first language, and I don't typically speak the language here. And it's also, like, good on me, kudos to me, that I didn't really stay in one place. I'm actually quite curious, and I move around, and I talk to other people online, and I use English to talk to people online. And because of that, I was able to communicate, like, somewhat communicate with people, and somewhat feeling like I belong. Because, you know, if you don't speak the language in a country that doesn't speak your language, it feels like you're isolated from the rest of the people here. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I guess I always feel isolated and alone. I don't feel lonely, but I feel alone. Completely different, by the way. Being lonely means that, oh, I need affection. And being alone means that I don't need affection, but There's only me in this entire area. There's no one else that has the same culture as me. It's just me. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty hard to like find people who are on the same wavelength here. Anyway, let me see. Okay. Oh, whoa! It's already 1 hour and 30. Okay, 1.5 hour. Oh, this one, man. Let me just finish doing this. Let me link it first. Pivotal. Let's go with body. Go. 7, 8. Okay, facilitate. The word facilitate really confused me. Like, I don't really understand what it means. Anyway, yeah, we're done for today. I'm tired. Alright, guys, I'm gonna end the video here today. Remember, like always, embrace yourself. Learn what you love what you do your best to be the better you. Learning never ends, ending means quitting, so just fail and try again.